Welcome to Solving Citizen Legal Encounters. Thank you for the people that's already in the chat that's been sitting in there waiting so we can have another good time tonight. So we're going to start it off. We got four through. So this is what we're going to do. The first one, we're going to be in Magistrate Norback's court with a sovereign citizen in there that just want to give them a hard way to go. Before we go in, I always try to do my research. Let me show you something about this sovereign citizen, okay? Let me get to it. Okay. So his current charge is driving on suspended, but he did a lot of prison time. And you can see with the list here what he had going on from 2004 up to current. Okay. So for him to say, run the script, I don't know the charges and all of that. You already know he know the game. He's been in prison for a while. So let's go in here. Let's check this out. Let's go.
All right, on the telephone ending in 1336.
Sui juris and personal persona. I'm Stephen Tyrell White, beneficiary of sovereign. I'm here under fraud, menace, and arrest. Fiduciary Daniel Williams Norbeck.
Okay, Mr. White, we're going to pop you over in the waiting room because you're just going to be a distraction for all the citizens here willing to abide by the laws of our country. So we'll pop you over in the waiting room and we'll get back to you. In case you guys have ever heard of the term sovereign citizen in the news, that's what one of them sounds like when they try to come to court. All right, Mr. White, are you able to hear me?
Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to read this to you so you understand what you're charged with. This says that on January 7th of this year on 2nd Street there in the city of Fenville, that you were driving while license suspended. That is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or $500 fines and costs. Do you understand your charge?
Objection, Your Honor. I do not. I do not understand my charges or
okay. I'm going to mark you down as not guilty, and we'll set you for a jury trial. You can continue to.
Your Honor, Your Honor, you practice in front of bench. You practice in front of bench. That's my job or my attorney job. I'm sui juris. I'm pro prior person.
Okay, Mr. White, I don't know where you read the stuff that you're saying, but it's legal nonsense. It means nothing in a court of law. So if you're not willing to state that you even understand or recognize the authority of the court, my options are I can make you come in for arraignment and not give you a PR bond, and then you'll have to post bond to not sit in jail. You want to do it that way instead? Right now, if I get through arraignment with you, I'll give you a PR bond. Mr. White?
I don't listen. I'm asking you a question.
What's the question, sir?
I'm not arguing with you, Your Honor. I just want you to hear me.
Okay, but I don't want to listen for 20 minutes. Go ahead and ask your one question, and we'll start there and see if it's a real question.
Am I on the record?
Yes.
It's not going to take 20 minutes, Your Honor. I give you my word.
Well, you said you have a question, sir. What's the question you want to ask?
Is this criminal or is it civil?
This is criminal, sir. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or $500 fines and costs.
Hey, if it's criminal, can I ask to dismiss the charge? Because at this point, the prosecutor, there's no sworn testimony. It's
because this is just arraignment, sir. What you're talking about is trial. That would be several steps down the road. Arraignment is just for you to make sure that you understand what you're accused of, what the penalty is, and for you to enter a plea. You're accused of driving while license suspended. I read to you what the possible penalties are, and I asked you if you wish to plead guilty or not guilty at this time.
No, Your Honor, I'm a beneficiary and I'm a sovereign. I'm here under fraud, menace,
sir. Those sentences don't mean anything. They have no legal meaning whatsoever.
It's guaranteed by my
constitutional. So I've indicated
right.
that since you can't understand arraignment, I've entered a plea of not guilty on your behalf. I've set you for a jury trial. You can represent yourself free of charge, or you could hire an attorney. And now you must make a choice, sir, for bond. If we get through the arraignment with you on Zoom, I'm going to give you a PR bond, personal recognizance bond. That means you don't have to post any money. We're essentially trusting you that you'll keep coming back for your court dates. It is no driving without a valid driver's license. If you cannot get that far, in other words, if you really don't understand what's happening here, then I'm not going to allow you to be arraigned by Zoom. I'm going to set you for arraignment in person. And you will come to this courthouse. You will not get a PR bond. You will get a $300 cash or surety bond, meaning that you will need to post $300 in cash, or you will sit in jail from that day until your trial date. So I'll give you a choice. Do you want to be arraigned over Zoom like we're doing today, or would you like to come in and be arraigned in person?
Well, I object to all this, Your Honor, because at this point, I don't even understand the charges. I do not understand the charges. I'm not trying to.
That's fine. No, sir, you're allowed to. Sir, you're allowed to object, and I understand your sentence that you don't understand the charges. And so I will attempt to work with you for that for a second. I'm going to read the charges to you, okay? This says that it takes place on January 7th of this year. You understand that, right? The date that I just read.
I'm saying I do not. At this point, Your Honor, it's I was saying this. It was a jurisdiction matter. It's a jurisdiction matter. That's what I'm saying. It's a subject matter, jurisdiction.
Here's the problem with you arguing jurisdiction. I am a lawyer, so I understand what jurisdiction means. I'm not sure you do. The accusation is that you're driving around on 2nd Street in the city of Fenville, meaning in Allegan County, and that you're doing so when your driving privileges with Secretary of State have been suspended or revoked. Because this is the county. Yes.
Objection. I'll travel. I travel. I don't drive.
Okay.
I have no contact.
Sir, here's what we're doing, Mr. White. You are no longer able to be arraigned by Zoom. What I'm going to do is adjourn this. I'm going to adjourn this, and you will get noticed at your address there. You will come in, and we will arraign you in person. I'm telling you that I'm not going to give you a. I'm not going to give you a personal recognizance bond, sir.
It has to be. Before we can proceed,
White,
before you can proceed, it has to be addressed, Your Honor.
Because we are on the record, I'm going to make this infinitely clear. You're going to get notice to appear in front of me. You have two choices. If you do not appear, I'm going to put out a bench warrant for your arrest. If you do appear, we will have this conversation again about arraigning you to see if you understand the charges, but you are not getting a PR bond. You will need to bring with you $300 cash or surety, or you will be in jail. Do you understand those two options, A and B?
That's a violation of my constitutional rights, Your Honor.
Well, no, it isn't, sir. So we're all set for today. We're done talking. We cannot make any progress. You will be asked to come in person for arraignment. You can either choose to come in for arraignment, or you can choose to not be here. If you choose to not be here, a warrant will be entered for your arrest. And if you do choose to be here, make sure you bring that $300, because you're not getting a personal recognizance bond. But we are done with this hearing. I'm going to go ahead and release you. Thank you.
When's my date for court?
He already told him what the deal was. He wasn't listening. So anyway, that was a good one. And the more judges do it like that, it'll be even better. So now we have the next person we're going to be dealing with. Let me get his charges up here for you. In Judge Christina Simmons' court, okay? Hold on, I'm looking forward to make sure I put it up here, get the right thing up here for you. All right, let's see. Is it this one? Okay, yes, it's this one. Mr. Rambo L. And that's his last name, L. It's all in the system, L. So these are the charges that he had. It took over a year or about a year to get all this stuff settled. But look at the charges. It's nothing. But there's a kicker in here about one of these charges, and we can ready to check it out right now, okay? All right, let's go.
On the record in the matter of the people of the city of Lansing versus Rambo L, file numbers 22L2761882, 881, 883. Council appearance, please.
Matt Staples on behalf of the city of Lansing.
Okay, and then Rambo L is present. Do you have an attorney, sir?
I'm here by special appearance.
Okay. Mr. Staples, my understanding is that you're moving to dismiss these.
Just the failure to display ops, Your Honor. I did check the Secretary of State. His license is valid, and he did show me that license, and that he does have it in his possession, so that the misdemeanor charge would be dismissed.
Okay, and there's no offer on the expired plate and the failed signal?
Not at this time, Your Honor. I believe
Okay.
Mr. L is planning on contesting those charges.
Is that correct, Mr. L?
Yes.
Okay, we'll set them for a hearing. February 14th at 9:30. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing for the city, Your Honor.
Okay, you're all set, Mr. L. We'll see you on February 14th. Okay, is this L?
I forgot to tell y'all, there's 3 hearings in here, but listen to what happened on this one. It's funny.
Rambo or Rambo L? You're muted. You have an attorney, sir?
No, I'm here by special appearance.
Okay, I'll put you in the private meeting room with the city attorney.
Your Honor, we've actually already met with Mr. Rambo L before. He was requesting a formal hearing on these 2 files.
Okay, sounds good. Formal hearings will be set for in-person appearance.
Actually, I filed a motion January 6th. This is when it went unanswered. I would like the court to dismiss this matter.
Okay, your motion to dismiss is denied.
How many days does the prosecutor have to answer my motion for demand for motion for challenge of jurisdiction that I submitted to the clerk, and I've served everybody, all parties. How long does he have? Because that happened January 6th.
I see it's a motion to show authority.
And also a demand for dismissal, lack of jurisdiction, failure to introduce evidence of an injury in fact, challenges jurisdiction of the court to prosecute. That was filed January 6th.
We only have one motion attached to the file. I don't see the other motions that you're referencing, sir.
It's timestamped by the court. I have it right here.
I see a motion to show authority, which the court has denied. And then there was a memo that was attached. There was not any other motion. I don't read via Zoom.
It's filed with the clerk. Everybody was served.
Mr. Staples, did you get a copy of the motion he's referencing?
I see a copy of the motion to show authority in our file. I don't recognize it as any sort of valid motion or pleadings, but I see a copy of it in our file.
Agreed. That's the same the court has. It's a motion to show authority. The other motions that he's referencing was not properly filed with this court or served as the court, neither the court nor Mr. Staples' office is in receipt of it. The motion to show authority was denied, is not in proportion with the Michigan court rules. It does cite, however, Luke 11:46, the King James Version, Luke 11:52, as well as some other articles and treaties. But nonetheless, as indicated by Mr. Staples from the Office of City Attorney, this is not a lawful or appropriately filed motion, and for that reason, it was denied before this court. But we will.
Well, I like to challenge jurisdiction right now. I have the right to travel.
An appropriate motion with the court under the Michigan court rules to challenge jurisdiction. But what we won't do is entertain motions under the King James Version of the Bible, okay?
That was a different motion you're referring to. That was the motion to show authority.
We don't have the other motion, sir, so you can file that motion. It's just, we don't have it. I don't know why we only have one motion, that we don't have the other one you're referencing. So you'd have to file that and serve it on the city attorney. We'll give you time to do that. I'm gonna set both of these matters for hearing though.
I can't chill. You telling me I don't have the right to challenge jurisdiction right now? I want to challenge jurisdiction right now.
You can file a motion for challenging the jurisdiction, sir.
I can't do a verbal motion?
No, you cannot.
So you telling me I don't have the right to do a verbal motion?
You don't have a right to do that. You're gonna file it in writing and you're gonna serve it properly on the parties that you're filing it against, okay, sir? March 14th at 10:30 in person at the court will be the date for the formal hearing, and then we'll hear any arguments on motions if necessary. Do you have any questions today, Mr. L? Okay, well, then you're all set. Thank you. Okay, you can have a seat. Thank you. Today's the date and time set for a formal hearing. I have, I believe, one witness on Zoom. Counsel, you can proceed.
Officer Vanderwerf, would you state your name for the records, please?
Oh, you want to call him? Let me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, man, no worries. Vanderwerf, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, Judge. So I was traveling southbound on King when I observed a pickup truck in front of me that was changing lanes, failing to use its signal. So at that time, I activated my overhead lights on the vehicle to initiate a traffic stop. And then I made contact with the driver, who was later identified as a Rambo L. In our contact, he ended up handing me a piece of paper. At brief glance, when I looked at the piece of paper, it appeared to have what I believe was certain MCL codes that the subject may have typed onto the piece of paper. When I had asked him for a driver's license or identification, he was not really very cooperative. I also don't believe I was provided any insurance. At that time, I decided to issue him a citation for failing to signal, changing lanes, and failing to display a valid license, and then also the license plate through the system was expired.
Mr. L, did you want to question the witness?
Yes. The document that you were referring to, it was a travel document. I was showing you, I was traveling versus driving, and I tried to explain that to you. And then you held me on the side of the road for approximately an hour. I requested a supervisor because they might better understand what I was doing, and you never provided that for me. Is that correct?
That's actually incorrect, because the reason that you were held on the stop for as long as you were is because I was waiting for a supervisor. So when I realized the supervisor was not there, I contacted him by phone, at which time he said he was delayed. And when I came back up to the traffic stop, I did ask if you wanted to wait further for a sergeant, and I don't believe that you did. And then you drove off when you were free to go.
Yes. Is it correct that I was held on the road for approximately an hour waiting for this whole encounter to end?
I do not remember if it was an hour specifically, but I do remember that the time length was probably, I would say probably close to that at the very least.
Well, it was an hour, and it caused me to be late for my son's banquet. And and I never got to speak to the supervisor. That's all the questions I had.
Okay, any redirects?
No redirect, Your Honor.
Okay, any additional witnesses today?
None from the city.
Okay, Mr. L, are you calling any witnesses today, or did you want to give your own testimony?
I would like to, I have some, I have a defense, my motion.
Okay, well, you filed a motion?
Yeah, I filed a motion, served across the
When did
city
you file a
attorney.
motion?
It was filed, it was mailed February 18th.
You filed a motion and mailed it February 18th. Did you serve a copy?
To the clerk of the courts and also to the city attorney's office.
Did you receive any motion, sir?
Your Honor, we did receive a motion. It did not have any hearing date stated on it. We had no timetable for a response. I would be happy to respond to the motion on the record orally or provide the court with briefing if they would like.
The court didn't get a copy of the motion in February.
I sent it to the clerk. And,
yeah, typically when that happens, it's just attached to the file. I don't have a copy of any motion.
Oh, well, I did my due diligence. I sent a copy to him. He has his.
Well, I don't know that you did your due diligence because when you file a motion, you got to get a hearing date for that motion. And so
who's supposed to give me a hearing?
You got to get the hearing date from the clerk's office.
From the clerk's office?
Yeah.
So why did they give me one?
Did you contact them for a hearing date?
I contacted them, yeah.
And asked for hearing dates for your motion?
And I asked them when was my hearing. They confirmed that it was today.
For your motion.
And I asked, did I have a hearing date? And they said.
And you do have a hearing date, but that's not what I asked you. Did you ask them, did you have a hearing date for your motion?
For my motion?
Yes.
They didn't tell me, but I did provide to him an order for the motion that gave him 21 days to respond.
Okay, you can make your motion before the court because I don't have a copy. You can make it now orally.
Okay, well, now comes the beneficiary for Rambo L, defendant in error, here by special appearance, not submitting to the court's jurisdiction, hereby moves the court to strike and dismiss the complaint filed by the officer Zenderbar. Am I pronouncing that right? Sorry if I'm not. For lack of ratification and commencement, no corpus delicti, no plaintiff, lacks jurisdiction, personal or firm jurisdiction. Christina Simmons being appointed as trustee, the prosecutors being appointed as co-trustee, I, Rambo L, an executor and beneficiary of a set of account. Also, I filed a declaration of non-citizenship nationality because I've done a name change. Where my point of authorities are the United States District of Columbia Corporation in Volume 20, Corpus Juris Section 1785. We find United States government as a foreign corporations with respect to the states. Since the corporation is fictitious, is a fictitious person, it can't see, speak, smell, or touch itself. It's a fiction in the real world. It needs a conducting, transmitting utility, a liaison, some sort of connection to a fictional person. Constitutional Amendment number 1, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of a religion, prohibiting free exercise thereof, abridging freedom of speech or right of press or right of people, peaceful assemble, petition the government for redress of grievance. Number 5, Constitutional Amendment. The right of people should be secure in their person, houses, papers, in fact, against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued upon probable cause supported by an oath or affirmation, particularly describing the place search of persons, things to be seized. And then number 7, Constitutional Amendment, suits at common law where value of controversy exceeding $20, the right of a jury trial shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States according to the rules of common law. I asked for a jury trial, I didn't get that. Rambo L is a man, people, but not a person. I was not operating in commerce, nor was I a driver on the road for travel. A driver is an employee transporting goods or passengers. Rambo was just merely traveling in my private property. Here are some examples of my Supreme Court constitutional defenses. Number 1, case number 1, the right to travel is part of a liberty where a citizen cannot be deprived of due process under the 5th Amendment, Kent versus Duels, 357 U.S. 116, 125. Case number 2, I have the right to travel freely and unencumbered pursuant to Shapiro versus Thomas, 394 U.S.P. 618. That right is so basic, it doesn't even need to be mentioned. The state of Michigan arbitrarily and erroneously converted my right into a privilege and issue a license in the fee for it. Murdoch versus Pennsylvania, 319 U.S. 105. Supreme Court trumps everything. Says that no state can convert a secured liberty into a privilege and issue a license and fee for it. Case number 4, Shuttle versus Birmingham, Alabama. It shows that I can ignore a license and engage in the right with immunity. Case number 5, Marbury versus Madison, 5 U.S. 137, shows that any law in violation of the Constitution is null and void. Case number 6, Shuttleworth versus Birmingham, 373 U.S. 262, says I may ignore the license and the fee and engage with the right with immunity. That means you can't punish me. And United States versus Bishop defines willfulness as an evil motive or intent to avoid a known duty, task under the law, with a morality certain. I submit I couldn't have been doing an evil task. I totally followed the Constitution in the Supreme Court. Bryers versus United States says it shows how the judge is supposed to interpret the Constitution, and it's supposed to be interpreted in the favor of me. A.M. Jurisprudence, Volume 16, Section 97 of the Constitutional Law section says it should be received as a liberal interpretation in favor of the citizen, especially true with respect to those who were designated to safeguard the liberty and security of a citizen in regards to both persons and property. See note 31, Bryers versus United States. No state may convert a liberty into a privilege. Murdoch versus Pennsylvania. An appearance ticket is not accusatory instrument. It doesn't confer jurisdiction over the defendant. People versus Gabay, 670 New York 2D 92517. I was not engaged in a commercial trade at the time of the alleged infraction, and I do not proceed to say a license is upon a constitutional detention. Motor vehicle means every description of a carrier drawn by mechanical power used in commercial purposes on a highway. There's neither injury nor trespasses, any trespasses. All crimes are commercial, 27 CFR 72.11, and every alleged crime has to have a nature and cause and be prosecuted by the name of the people of the state. I don't have a contract with the state. I don't see an injured party. I don't know why I'm here.
Any additional
I
argument on your motion?
would like the court, I would ask the court to dismiss this for failure to state a claim where relief can be granted.
The court has heard the argument. I'm first address your motion, Mr. L, and I'm going to deny your motion as clearly indicated in the response by the city. Your claims would be most appropriately brought before the Court of Claims, and so you can't challenge a constitutional issue in this court, okay? As it relates to the authority and the process to bring this matter before the district court as it relates to your civil infractions, you have an expired plate and a failure to signal. Again, a jurisdiction or venue before this court is appropriate. This is a situation or incident that occurred in the area of South MLK, Martin Luther King Boulevard. That's in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan. And so you're subject to the laws and the ordinances of the city of Lansing, but also the laws under the Michigan compile laws. Here in this district court, we are subject to the Michigan court rules. And so although I gave leniency with your motion, it was not properly filed and or served. But it also does not comport with the Michigan compile laws or Michigan court rules. And so for those reasons, it is denied. Now, as to the civil infraction, failed to signal an expired plate from December 3rd, 2022, we do not provide any valid dispute or defense to these civil infractions. You could have appeared and showed information that demonstrated you did have a valid late at the time, or that you even have one now, which could reduce the citation, but that's not taking place. And so I'm going to sustain both violations as civil infractions. There's a fine of $125 on each. Okay, sir?
My next defense, am this done or can I say something else?
You can say something else. I asked you if you had any further defense, but you said.
My next defense would be, Michigan allows 72 hours to register any vehicle when it's first purchased. He never asked for anything. I never got a chance to explain myself on the side of the road.
Okay, do you have proof that you had just purchased it within 72 hours?
I don't have the title.
Okay, thank you, sir. If the defense is not meaningful, if you can't provide any evidence to support that defense. That being said, your fine is $125 on each file. When do you intend to make payment?
Do I have a chance to appeal this?
You can.
I would like to appeal.
Okay, you want to file an appeal? It's the civil infraction?
I want to file an appeal today.
Okay, you can file a motion for reconsideration. But you need to follow the Michigan court rules, okay? We don't submit to the sovereign rules, okay? This is, you take that to the sovereign court.
He was all over the place with that script. It sounded like for a while we was at a spelling bee, but all the words and letters were mixed up. All right, so first of all, thanks for the people that gave super thanks. Thanks for the members. Aqua Queen, 2 months. Congrats. Hang in there. Yeah, just loving the chat with all of you guys. It's like we always have fun when we come on here. So next video. This is short. We're going to pop into British Columbia. A quick little traffic stop. Nothing bad. Just to show again how they act and the things they say. It's really, really short. But I saved the best for last because I cannot wait until you find out what I have last going on in this video tonight, okay? And if you like what's going on, hit the like button, okay? Give it 2 thumbs up. You know the deal, okay? All right? Let's go in.
November 9 in Chilliwack. What appears to be a routine traffic stop.
Hi there. Hi. License registration, please.
Filmed and uploaded to social media.
You haven't provided me the documentation. You do have a driver's license. You're driving with no insurance and wrong number plates. So you are going to be getting a traffic ticket today, and the vehicle is going to be towed. Okay?
No, I don't agree to that.
What follows is a barrage of defiance.
I don't consent to this. You're creating a non-consensual security agreement on the side of the road without right. You guys understand that you're breaching my peace, right? You guys are going to try and criminally harass me into your compliance.
A battle of opinions lawyers say won't stack up in court.
On the basis of the arguments that were being made in the video, there is no defense to the charge. It has no foundation in any law anywhere in Canada.
Driving in BC, it's a privilege, it's not a right. So, if you don't abide by the rules set forth in the BC Motor Vehicle Act and or Criminal Code of Canada, then you could lose those privileges.
A group of people who believe they are immune to government's law and order call themselves sovereign citizens.
There has been a significant increase in this type of rhetoric ever since the pandemic began. The courts are very not receptive to these types of arguments. There was a recent case out of Prince Rupert, for example, where somebody was sentenced to a period of jail as a result of repeatedly bringing these arguments in court and repeatedly refusing to recognize the authority of the court.
Police affirming they will continue to enforce the law.
Everybody is equally responsible to follow the laws set forth in those acts, and those laws are there for a reason. They're there to make our highways safer.
A message to those who don't agree. Cassidy Moscone, Global News.
Okay, that was out of Global News. I'll put the link in the description. I forgot to do that. But this last one, I don't know if y'all saw the thumbnail for those of you who were waiting for this to start. I had a thumbnail on the thumbnail in the middle. I had a bunch of questions. I had a question mark in there because there was a person I didn't want to identify until now. All right. So how can I put this? When you go to court, normally, I don't believe the courts allow you to record inside of the courtroom. somebody wanted to record their trial. Put it in the chat. Who y'all think did that? I'm not going to say, but you're about to see it. I was like, I know your mouths may drop, they may not, but here we go. Y'all ready for this? Because I've been thinking about this all day. Can't wait to see your reaction on this one, all right? And this one's short too, very short, but it's going to get right to the point. And I see people throwing stuff in the chat. Let's go.
So, ladies and gentlemen, jury. Okay, so I'm a living man, one of the sovereign people.
Bam, right there. You know who that is, and you see from the cell phone. There we go. We got it.
Fraudulently assumed defendant. Again, I know that might be above your guys' head because that's something more someone knows that's been studying law for 28 years, more advanced stage, but is backed up by laws called Roman Cystic Trust.
Okay, now I'm going to play it where you can see everything and just watch where the phone go, okay? All right? Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, jury. Okay, so I'm a living man, one of the sovereign people, fraudulently assumed defendant. Again, I know that might be above your guys' head because that's something more someone knows that's been studying law for 28 years, more advanced stage, but is backed up by laws called Roman Cystic Trust.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. He took his phone and he recorded the entire trial, the whole thing. So I don't know. Maybe he got special privileges because he's been practicing law for 28 years. For the past 2 years, it's been the same amount of time. So I don't know how many years he's been practicing it. But like on the last traffic stop that I put up on the other live, oh yeah, you know, I'm a jailhouse lawyer. Maybe that's why he go back, he get commissary. I don't know. Y'all can answer it. So yeah, that's all I have for tonight. Just wanted to throw something on here for your Sunday night, or some people probably on his probably Monday morning already. But I don't know. Definitely spread this video around. Like, share it to people that want to watch it. I'm definitely gonna put up a YouTube short. So yeah, so thank y'all for watching once again. And I'll have another video for you soon. I had a really good time with y'all tonight, as usual. So y'all have a good one. See you later.